Hello there and welcome to the Card Grotto. Today I've got a haul to share with you. These are items that I purchased in April, May and the beginning of June. It has been some time since I've done a haul video, so I've got a little bit stacked up here, so I thought I'd share with you what I got. So first of all, back in April, I picked up the Silver Sparkle Alcohol Ink cardstock from Ranger and Tim Holtz. It's a really nice cardstock. It is a cardstock rather than a Yupo paper, but it does have a coating on it, so it works really well with alcohol inks. Obviously, it is a nice silvery sparkle colour, so anything that you add on top, the sparkle kind of goes through it, kind of reflects through it, and it's very, very pretty. I have used it with some alcohol inks and it's worked really nicely. They don't move as well on this as they do on Yupo paper, but they do move really quite nicely. And I have also used it with some pearls as well. And I also used it with the Hero Arts liquid watercolours as well, and it worked really nicely. I really like it. I mean, it didn't give a great blend between it, but I do think it gave quite a nice blend. It's I think quite a nice look, and as you can see, it's really, really sparkly. Very, very pretty. I have tried it with some other liquid watercolours since, and unfortunately they have not dried on it, even sort of after 4 days or heat setting it, they haven't dried on it because of that coating that's on it. Obviously nothing can seep through, so I'm not quite sure why the other watercolours didn't work and these ones did, but it definitely works with the Hero Arts watercolours. And then I also made this card recently with some Copic refills, and again I think that worked out really quite nicely. It just gives that sort of sparkle to the alcohol inks, in this case Copic refills, and I did do a video on this card and I will link that down below in case you're interested in watching that. Next up, I got a few embossing folders. I haven't used embossing folders for a little while, and then Jennifer Maguire did a video on them recently, and of course I fell in love again and had to pick up a few. So this one here is the Radiant Rings from Creative Expressions. I thought it was just a nice simple embossing folder. You've got all of these dots here that kind of make up the rings or the circles there. I thought in particular the card that she made with this was really nice. She did like a rainbow alcohol ink and then embossed the Yupo paper with it, and I thought in particular that would be really good for masculine birthday cards. I always struggle with masculine cards, so I think this would be really nice for that. And then I also picked up, well, I didn't pick them up actually, a friend of mine kindly picked them up from the Dies to Die For stall at one of the shows. She kindly picked them up for me because they were out of stock online, and they'd only just got them in at Dies to Die For, like a restock at that point, so she kindly picked them up for me, which I'm really, really grateful for. So this one here is the cable knit. This was out at Christmas and I did look at it then, and I really, really liked it, but I didn't obviously pick it up at the time, and now I've just fallen in love with it again. I really love this pattern. Although it's more of a sort of Christmas thing, I think this is just a nice pattern that I think you could use all year round. And then I also picked up the Sunburst, which is just a nice classic pattern. I think it would be really nice to do a background and then emboss that, and then just have maybe a sentiment in the inside with the sort of rays coming out from the sentiment. I think that would be quite nice. So looking forward to using those. I then picked up the Curvy Girl Eats Cake stamp from Stamping Bella. I really like these Curvy Girl images, and I thought this one was really nice with the cake. I thought it would be really good for birthday cards. So really looking forward to colouring that. I also picked up from Dies to Die For, this is the Ink on 3 Liquid Pixie Dust. This is kind of like a medium that you can add to watercolours and things like that to kind of make them iridescent. I have got some other kind of medium like that from Winsor & Newton, but I thought I'd pick up this Ink on 3 as well. I'm wondering if I can use it maybe on top of Copic markers and things like that, if I just maybe spread sort of like a thin layer over it. I think that would be quite pretty. I'll just have to see how it works. Then next up, I picked up a few packs of sequins and droplets from Lucy's cards, little things from Lucy's cards. First of all, I picked up these crystal clear hearts. They're just really, really pretty. I really love the droplets and I use them quite a lot, the raindrops. And so I thought I'd go ahead and get these hearts. These are from the newest release. And there's a few different sizes in here. It's a little bit difficult to see on camera, but they're really, really pretty, and thought I would probably use them quite, quite often. Next up, I picked up the Crystal Circles. I do have the pink Moonstone ones and I use them quite a bit. I really like those. And these are just a clear colour, so I thought I would probably get quite a bit of use out of these as well. And then I also picked up the Canary sequin mix. I don't have that many yellow sequins and I really like these because you get lots of different sizes in the pack and they're just a really pretty sparkly kind of colour, or finish I should say. Next up, I picked up some alcohol inks. These are the, I'm not sure if it's pronounced Pinata or Pinata, but I got hold of some of the metallics. I've seen a lot of people use them recently and I just thought they were really, really pretty. They are a little bit difficult to get hold of here in the UK. There are a few shops that sell them, but most of the time they're out of stock. Maybe just because they're so popular at the moment. But I managed to get hold of them in like a clay modelling shop, and so I will link that down below if you're in the UK and trying to get hold of them. So I picked up the copper, which is a really, really pretty colour, and then the brass there, the silver, and then also the rich gold as well. And I think these would be really nice to combine with my Tim Holtz alcohol inks and just give a really nice sparkle to those. Next up, I picked up a few ink pads. I got hold of the Versafine Clair in the Nocturne, which is the black. As far as I'm aware and how I've sort of used it so far, is that it's pretty much the same as the Versafine Onyx Black, but it has got a nice, it's kind of like in a nicer sort of what would you call it, pad, I suppose, a nicer pad. And so the other one has that horrible flip top lid, which I absolutely hate, and I end up getting ink all over my fingers and everything. And so this one is just a bit nicer. It's a little bit smaller in size as well, and because it's got the lid that comes off, it was just a bit easier to use, to be honest with you. I really like using this ink for watercolouring and also for sentiments that I want a really, really nice dark black. And like I said, I have used this a couple of times already, really like that. Next up, I picked up the Dried Marigold Distress Oxide ink. I didn't have a orange in any of the oxides, and I thought it'd be quite nice to combine with them if I wanted to do a rainbow or something like that. Sometimes I do combine the normal distress inks with the distress oxides, but it's quite nice sometimes if you just want the whole sort of look of the oxides together. Next up, I picked up a couple of Mama Elephant items. This is the Big Happy Birthday die. I particularly wanted it just to maybe die cut out, maybe just in some white cardstock or some black cardstock, and add that on top of a background of some sort, so maybe like an alcohol ink background or a watercolor background or something like that. Just something really, really simple. Again, I thought it'd be really good for masculine cards in particular, but obviously you could use this for loads of different things, loads of different sort of people that you're sending it to or anything like that. I've seen it used with lots of different critter images as well, which is really nice. And to go along with that, I thought maybe I could use this as an accompanying sentiment, but I can use them on their own as well. This is the Mama Elephant birthday messages set. I send a lot of birthday cards out. That's probably my most sort of card that I send out, and I'm always on the lookout for new birthday sentiments. I really like that there's a few sort of different ones in here. You've got some sort of different kind of sentiments, like 1,000,000 birthday wishes for you, yay it's your birthday, birthday kisses, hope you love it, happy birthday to my one and only, happy belated birthday. You've got obviously just generic sort of happy birthday, happy birthday to my little princess, just a little gift. Loads of different sentiments in here, and I really like the simple font on these, and they're kind of like a small size as well, and I really like those for loads of different designs of cards. And then I also picked up quite a few MFT items this month. I picked up, this is the Ocean Waves Dynamics. I am actually guest designing for them this month for their sketch challenge. And there's a few different sort of underwater fish, dolphin-y type images. And I thought these might work really nicely with those sets. So I picked that up. I do have the stencil as well, but I think this is be really nice to use as well. And then I also picked up the Skinny Strips dies. I have actually used these quite a bit already. I really like that they have the two different lengths of these and also the two different edges. So you've got the straight one and the banner one as well. I really like these, and I do tend to use sentiment strips quite a bit on my cards, so these will come in very handy. Of course, I had to pick up the Piggy set. This is the Piggy Pebbles set. It's absolutely adorable. I love these adorable piggies. If you know me for some time, you'll know that I love anything pig related. So I, of course, had to pick that up. And then I did also pick up the die set to match as well. So really looking forward to using that. I picked up this set. This is the Essential Sentiment set. I've wanted this for a long time. I did actually have the original sets. I don't know if you remember those. They were kind of like a swirly font. This was a long time ago, like years and years ago. And they discontinued them, and then they brought them out in this kind of sort of more plain basic font, and I really like these. They're just a good all-round sentiment set to have, obviously, for loads of different occasions. And then just in their last release, I picked up the Slider Surprise. I originally wasn't sure about it, and then I've seen a couple of videos where they've used it, and I just think it's such a great idea. I think in particular it would be really good for Christmas cards, for adding gift cards. I send quite a lot of gift cards out at Christmas, so I thought this would be really good to use then. And then I did also... Well, this actually was a present from my mum for me for my birthday, but I had to share it. I don't usually share presents on haul videos, but it's just absolutely adorable. This is the Little Piggy from MFT. It's just so cute. You've got all of the different elements that you can make up the little piggy there. I love all of their, like MFT have a few different animals now using this kind of concept, and of course I had to have the pig. So I'm really glad that my mum bought that for me. I'm really looking forward to using that. Along the same lines, I did actually create a card recently using the little puppy, which is the new one out at the moment. It's just so adorable. I really loved creating this, so I'm sure I'm going to really enjoy creating the piggy as well. And I will link this video at the end of this one as well in case you're interested in watching that. And then last but not least, I treated myself, because it was my birthday, I did treat myself to the foil quill from We Are Memory Keepers. I wanted to use it with my Cricut. I've seen a lot of people use it and it looks really good. They had a sort of kind of like a promotion on at Craft Stash where there was a discount for the weekend, and so I thought I'd pick that up this up at the time. I originally was just going to buy like one of the tools, like maybe like the standard tip or the fine tip, but in the end I decided to go ahead and get the whole set. I really love that it comes with all the different sizes of tips. You get the adapters there, and then you also get some foil as well that you can use with it, so I'm really looking forward to using that with my Cricut. That was everything that I've purchased in the last couple of months. Links to everything that I shared will be in the description bar on YouTube and also over on my blog. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.